All right, hello everyone. We are live now. This is our first live stream of March 2025, and I have with me on the stage the usual gang, except Neo. Neo said he couldn't make it, but we have
Aw.
John Clark, Ook,
Howdy.
Stevo, and Blarg.
Howdy,
Hey
guys.
guys,
G'day all.
how has everyone been?
Usual. Nothing bad, but nothing good either. It's just same old day, different day.
Been enjoying.
I leave you alone for 1 week, Q, and the 20th.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And I haven't really been keeping up with the comments. I mean, it's just been kind of the same thing over and over. But we will go over those comments. I think some of them are kind of funny, sort of interesting points. So, hey, Tuna Man.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tuna.
I've been enjoying my morphine patch a lot, and it's the day to change it. They normally last 7 days, so yes, it doesn't make you high or anything, but you just got to be a bit careful because you're a bit wobbly.
Yeah, I know my dad was taking morphine when his back was bad before he passed, and he was always off balance.
Yeah, it's just I've taken a walk in with a stick when I'm inside the house now. I normally don't have to. But yeah, hello to all the people who just came in.
By the way, guys, just a quick update with my dad. So, I
Oh,
visited him the other day at the care facility, and his physical therapist said that he walked 10 steps using the parallel bars all by himself. So he's coming along really well.
That's good. That is
Nice.
very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice. Yeah, good to hear.
Yeah.
So,
How is his ribs healing? Pretty well?
So his ribs are pretty much fine. So this is
Okay.
one of those kind of weird feedback loops. Very briefly, so because his ribs, he couldn't walk because he wasn't walking, and because he wasn't walking, he lost a lot of weight. Because he lost a lot of weight, he lost a lot of strength, which kept him from walking. And so this feedback loop started because he wasn't walking and he was losing weight, so it kept him from walking. And so the doctors were like, okay, we've got to stop this cycle. So they put him on an enhanced caloric intake with his diet. And I basically went in there and got him out of his chair and made him walk around his room every so often for a little extra PT.
John,
Which
for the people who are new since your first update, did you want to just quickly let everyone know the sort of summary of what happened?
Yeah, sure. So 3 days before Christmas last year, my dad fell, cracked 3 ribs, and since then has been looked after by some of the finest medical professionals and dedicated people that I've ever had the honor of interacting with through the VA hospital, here in the States. He's for a while it looked like he was going to be getting on the mend and just fine. Had a very brief scare with a cold that they were worried was going to turn into a pneumonia, but that they managed to get subsided. So since then, what we've been doing is working with his care team to basically get him back on track physically, and also he's just he had a bit of a depression fit because of this. So just making sure that like his mental health is being taken care of, and also his physical health, being able to get back into walking, getting back into being able to look after himself. He's going to need a walker when he comes home. But as it stands right now, the current projection is that he will be home sometime before the end of this month.
That's very good.
So that's what we're rooting for. That's what we're working towards. I've taken time off of work to go and spend some time with him. Again, when the nurses and the doctors aren't there, I get him out of his chair and get him walking around. So that way he can kind of move along a little bit faster. As I said, right now we're sitting at about a month before he's back. But right now, but he is going to be back.
That's good. That is good.
Trying to keep the weight on and muscle mass.
Yeah.
When you're, in a lot of pain, is one of the hardest things to do.
Oh yeah, I saw it with my dad.
Can I suggest you have a look at supplementing with creatine? There's extremely good evidence in the scientific literature that for elderly people, so it's well known within the bodybuilding world.
Yeah.
As a supplement that works, but it's been also demonstrated that with elderly people, it can reduce or even completely halt the decline or the loss of muscle in older people.
Okay.
As supplemented. Okay. Something just to watch though, sometimes when, if they're not getting enough creatine in their diet, because creatine's a sort of most people will have a certain level, we'll say about, 10 units or whatever that is the most you'll sort of get out of your diet, and you can push it up to about 15, but that's about it. It won't get any higher than that, no matter how much you consume. But what it does is increases what's called creatinine, which is one of the things that gets looked for in urine tests for kidney function.
Yeah.
So just make sure it doesn't hurt the kidneys. It just used to be thought that maybe it hurts the kidneys, but it isn't. It's actually just because the assumption in a kidney test is that the creatine levels remain constant, and therefore the creatinine levels remain constant. And if there's a change, it's due to filtration. That won't be the case. So just be aware of that it's it will give a dodgy score on a creatinine test, but it's not harming the kidneys. It's very
he's
safe.
already decided not to go for the Olympics this year, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, but it's really good at keeping muscle mass in older people. So
kind of a dumb question. Can I just go to a Costco and get that, or like what are we talking about?
They might sell it. Yeah, it used to be sold at Woolworths here in Australia.
Yeah, you should be able to get it from Amazon.
Okay.
Or if you want to go to the store, Walmart, Target, or GNC if you got one in the area.
Okay, so I can OTC that.
Yeah, it's easy to get. It's really easy to get. It's safe. It's a bit hard to dissolve. Certainly, it doesn't dissolve real well in cold water, but it's close to tasteless. It's not quite, but it is.
That's okay. Most of the humor between my dad and I is tasteless, so that's fine.
I used to sprinkle that on my mum's food while she was dying, or while she decided she wanted to stop living. And it did actually increase her muscle mass a little bit. It's just she was so stubborn that she didn't want to live in a nursing home, so she starved herself to death. Not a fun way, I tried to convince her, if you want to do that, you've got all the drugs you can take to make it less painful, but no. I had to make a performance out of the whole thing, as mothers often do.
You might also notice that when you start the creatine, they gain somewhere between 1 and 3 kilograms of weight. That's actually just water going into muscle cells. So, and it's part of the mechanism for how it makes the muscles grow. In the same way that when you get swelling due to working out, that is a trigger for muscle growth. So this causes a sort of a swelling of the muscles due to the presence of the creatine. Creatine's also used in it helps in memory and cognition as well, because it's the chemical that's used in the regeneration of ATP in the production of energy. And both muscles and brain cells use a lot of it. So it's an excellent supplement, and pretty well all old people should be on it.
I need to do that for my mother because she's got arthritis in her legs, so it's hard for her to walk, and she has to sit down a lot. if I could supplement creatine in her diet, it'll help her get more energy, and it might help the arthritis a little bit.
Yeah, don't know, but certainly moving around helps with
Yeah, that's what I mean.
arthritis. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really great doctors who are weightlifters. They have a website and a sort of a podcast. A fellow by the name of Austin Baraki and trying to remember the other fellow's name. They talk a lot about the science of this sort of stuff, and they had a really great little saying there the other day when talking about pain due to osteoarthritis, and saying that, you know, in that case they call it movement is medicine or something.
Okay.
For osteoarthritis. It's just, yeah, really good.
No, I really appreciate it.
Let me just interrupt here because Craig had put up a question.
Yep.
I didn't realize this was the first time he's been on this stream, but I just want to let him and anyone else listening in know that generally what happens is at the beginning we kind of do our greetings and kind of talk about what's going on with us, different various topics. But yeah, we generally have an agenda, and for this week, what we'll be doing is we'll be talking about last week, the stream from last week, where I had a civil discussion, if you want to call it that, with Andrew Wilson. And after that, we just got a flood of Andrew fanboys in the comments coming in and saying this and that. So I figured for this one, we can kind of go over some of those comments, and we can also kind of talk about about the debate in general. Neil, when he sent me an email to say that he won't be joining, he did kind of give me a few items of note. Just FYI, I'm definitely open to any criticism. So, obviously I could have done better on this. I didn't go in there wanting to have a debate with Andrew. And I specifically told him from the beginning that this was supposed to be a civil discussion. Obviously, it wasn't very civil, at least from Andrew's point of view, but that's fine. So Craig, if you want to join us on the stage and join us in our discussion, it's perfectly fine. If you would like, just let me know. I'll give you the link to come on. You being one of the few theists that come on here, you'd definitely be welcome to come on. All right. So actually, but before we do, I know Blarg, you wanted to talk about the comment that Marjorie Anderson was making.
Yeah, shouldn't take long. I just thought it was a great little analogy that people missed on their first reading of it, and there was a lot of negative comments followed in underneath.
Yeah. Now that I've seen it, I know that it was supposed to be kind of a sarcasm, right? He didn't.
I think it's a great analogy.
Mm-hmm. But I think initially people took that as like he was actually defending slavery in the Bible.
Yeah, that it was an apologetic.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's great. So for those who might be listening on as a podcast, the comment reads: the Bible doesn't sanction, endorse, or condone slavery, much in the way that a book of rules about playing football doesn't sanction, endorse, or condone football. Both specifically describe the rules, but neither one actually says slavery. Football is good. And so it goes more and then finishes with checkmate atheists, which it should be a good giveaway that they're taking the piss. Maybe a /s might have been helpful there to make sure people spotted it.
Yeah, because some people would say checkmate atheists after stuff like that.
Yeah,
and we know a few of those.
Yeah, also saying that until you find me a football rule book that says football is good, you should play football. You can't convince me that a football rule book is actually supportive of football. And that's the exact argument that's used for the Bible. The Bible doesn't endorse slavery. I usually try and use an argument like if your father told you how to buy cigarettes, and he told you where and when to smoke cigarettes, and he never ever told you not to smoke cigarettes, you could probably assume he was pretty happy if you took up smoking. But I think this one's in some ways a better analogy. So yeah, but a bunch of people missed it. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
I know.
great way because that's right. It doesn't sanction, endorse, or condone football. You go, no, it just tells you how to do it. So yeah.
By the way, I guess Craig, maybe he's a Brit as well. He says it's 2 a.m. there. So
That's about that, right?
So if you do join us on the stage, we'll be just swapping out one
Yeah.
theist Brit for another theist Brit.
right.
You could be our stand-in theist Brit.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. I think he said he was sleepy, so he won't join. But yeah, in the future, if you ever want to join us, you're definitely welcome to come on. All right. So with that being said, so let me just kind of go back to the original issue that kind of started this. So this was
Excuse me.
for Modern Day Debates tweet about an upcoming debate con. And Modern Day Debates generally has, I think, kind of a negative reputation just because they do platform guys like Andrew and flat earthers and all that. So they do kind of give a platform for those guys to come on, or I should say a bigger platform, right? Because most of them have their own platform. So I basically said, please stop with platforming of people like Andrew Wilson. And that is what really caused this whole hubbub, where Andrew and his gang took that as me trying to deplatform him. And I think part of it is, the word platforming probably, sort of did things, got these guys a little bit, I guess, fixated on the idea of deplatforming. They seem to be very, very touchy about that. And then maybe that, they actually were, he's Craig is Scottish. Oh, I should have known. That's kind of stupid of me, looking at the
I love that avatar.
profile picture.
That is awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Modern Day Debates is a joke among even some Christians. But it is kind of an entertaining format where they get people who are just out on the left field so that they get this type of more of a confrontation type of thing. And Andrew Wilson really, fits into that. And Modern Day Debates in response said, no, now I'm going to platform him even more, which makes sense, because from their point of view, this is what's going to make money, getting people like Andrew, and because he will draw sort of the rabid fan base, as well as those who are against him, to come and see him. So, I mean, it makes sense from that point of view. So, but me expressing my opinion that he shouldn't be on that platform, I still do not think it's deplatforming, because I mean, there was no call to action. I didn't say, okay, everyone, go and flood Modern Day Debates, tell them how you hate Andrew Wilson, and boycott Modern Day Debates until, they stop platforming people like him. So there wasn't any call to action or anything. It was simply just me expressing my opinion. But apparently that is not something that these guys are really okay with, especially Andrew. And for Andrew's point of view, obviously he has a financial incentive to be able to continue to go on places like Modern Day Debates. And I just felt that he was a lot more concerned about that than, for example, the other part of the discussion, which was when when he said that I was wrong to call him an extreme Christian nationalist bigot. And his concern wasn't that I was calling him a bigot. His concern was, okay, am I really extreme? And wanted me to define what extreme is. Because he was fine with being a nationalist bigot, a Christian nationalist bigot. He just wasn't fine with, that being called extreme, because, nowadays, being a Christian nationalist bigot is a mainstream thing. And hello, Kentucky atheist. Hey, thanks for coming on, Joe. Yeah, so any of you guys have kind of responses to that? Well, actually, let me just kind of get your kind of assessment of what you thought of what happened last week. Well, John wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was too scared to come on.
I was horrified, petrified, terrified, and scared. Cheesy, crazy. So I did get a chance to take a look at some of his content in other debates. Like his whole brand is to be this snarky and just rude, to try and get people off their footing. Very rarely does he ever back up the things that he talks about. And present evidence to back up his claims. He seems to want to be the he wants to sort of do the dog in the manger thing, where he just wants to yap and get his attention that way. And he comes across as a pizza cutter to me, which
yeah.
If you want to spend your entire career being a pizza cutter, then that's fine. You get to do that in terms of being in the marketplace of ideas. It just, your sound and fury signifying nothing. So I wasn't impressed with how he comported himself. I wish I could say I was surprised, but based on how he behaved towards Dillahante's debate with Matt Dillahunty, and there's also I forget what it's called, but I think it's called the Whatever podcast. He basically behaved the same way there as he did with you. So he's not a serious thinker. He's not somebody that should be taken seriously at all. At least that's what I would say to his face.
Yeah. So your average atheist says that while I don't think Andrew won, I do think you really lost. So yeah, let me make a comment on that, because as I kind of alluded to, I didn't want this to be a debate where we are arguing against each other. So for the most part, I kind of, I guess I sort of purposely try not to engage him into his kind of, the way he addresses or handles things. So, like right away, he was a little bit peeved because I didn't have my camera on, because part of his tactic is to kind of, kind of react off of the other person's reaction, right? He tries to goad them into kind of being, getting upset. And then when they get upset and start, let's say like shouting back, then he kind of sits back and just says, hey, I'm being calm. Why are you so upset?
Yeah.
So I try very hard to not react to some of his provocations, things like, calling me doofus and all the different names. I specifically didn't want to respond to that. So, yeah, and I think that's why you were thrown off. Yeah, in a way, because, I didn't think that he was going to come in acting like it was a debate right from the beginning. But at the same time, as some of the comments said that, I didn't like, quote unquote, prepare. This is something I do as a hobby. I wasn't going to spend hours going through his, videos, and he has a lot of it. I just know that I listened to his, attempt at debating Matt Dillahunty, and that's kind of what I was kind of basing my, I guess, my ideas of him on. And, that's where my tweet had come from, his behavior there. And it was pretty, I guess, representative of who he is as a person. I mean, I didn't look at all his videos, but I did kind of peruse a few minutes of different ones. I really couldn't. I really couldn't spend a lot of time watching some of those. So anyway, yeah. I mean, if the criticism is that I wasn't prepared against him, yeah, that's true. I wasn't prepared to have a debate against him. You know, I just wanted this to be a discussion where he says what, you know, whatever beef he has, and I would respond to that. That was kind of my intention. Man, Sunday, what's going on? You're being deleted? I don't think anyone's deleting you.
What? Who?
No,
Sunday.
I think he was talking about the complaints from Andrew and crew. It's them complaining. I'm being deleted.
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sometimes I can't like keep track of the comments while I'm talking, so there'll be times when I'm missing it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Just let us know if you are having some problem Sunday. Certainly, there wouldn't be any reason for any of us to be punting you out the door. You're definitely welcome.
Yep. And like I said, I haven't really been looking too much to the comments. I did at the beginning, but I didn't realize it was just going to keep going on and on like it did. So I couldn't keep up with it even if I wanted to. So
It does amaze
I
me how
noticed.
often folks like Andrew really come across as thin-skinned snowflakes.
yeah, definitely.
And extremely dishonest as well.
What I found incredibly strange is people referring it to a debate. It had that didn't make sense to me. There was people obviously don't know what a formal debate is. There was no. That just surprised the shit out of me that people thought it was a debate.
Well, didn't he make in his points for the conditions QC? Didn't he even say that he just wanted this to be a discussion between the two of you?
Well, no, I said at the beginning that, because, basically he wanted to be on my channel. And I was kind of perplexed why he would want to be on a small channel when he has his own large platform. But he wanted to be on, and normally I wouldn't have someone like that on. But,
Right.
Since I did mistake and hadn't made a mistake in terms of saying that he doxed Arden, I felt it was fair for me to give him an opportunity to kind of air out his grievance. So I accepted him having on, and I told him specifically my platform is for a civil discussion. And but then he kind of created all these sort of conditions for him to be on, that I wouldn't mute him or a couple other things that really wasn't that relevant. But so that's how he got on. And like I said, I was really there just to try to kind of listen to his point. And you'll notice during the discussion, when he would ask questions where I didn't really know the answer or I hadn't thought of, and so I said, that's a good point, or I have to think about that. So from my point of view, I felt like I was being at least trying to have a good faith discussion, and ignoring all the insults and kind of different things that he did. And Neo did kind of point out that one of the things that I didn't do is to call him out when he was, moving the goalpost and some of the other things that he was doing. Because I wasn't trying to, like I said, have a debate where I was kind of pointing out his fallacies.
Yeah, but the problem with the guy.
One of the things I noticed that he did was, for example, where you talked about him being extreme Christian nationalist, and he's like, define what you mean by extreme Christian nationalist, and you start giving an answer. And he did this multiple times too. He starts giving an answer and he goes, I don't want to hear a giant discussion, just answer the question. And so he doesn't want you to give an actual answer. But he then, the moment you give your first point, and I think it was the point about abortion,
Yeah.
he then just grabs that and says, so extreme nationalists are people who are anti-abortion. And
Yeah.
so he cuts off the discussion. So it's going to clearly be a list. It's like asking someone to define what an automobile is, and you say, well, they have wheels. Then you go, so everything with wheels is an automobile.
Yeah.
What about planes? They have wheels. What about bicycles? You don't
Yeah.
know what you're doing. You're a fucking idiot. That's exactly what he did with that. And over and over and over, he kept doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of that going on. And it was obviously very disingenuous, right?
Sure. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon for conservative bobbleheads to kind of punch down as a way of gaining notoriety, because it's not about whether or not he's making good points or he's making rational points. It's that he has enough of a fan base that he can then turn around and go, see, I really pwned those libtards. That was the point. That was his win condition in his conversation with you.
Yeah,
It's that, and now he can then use that to, if he wants to reference it, he can make the clips or do whatever and say, here's an example of all the times that I've owned libs, and just put together that montage. That's why he's a pizza cutter. He's not an actual, he's not somebody to be taken seriously on any level, at least not in terms of any intellectual ability or prowess.
Yeah, and so that's why, even if we did say, okay, this is going to be a debate, I knew it wasn't going to be any fun, and also, I'm not going to be able to play in that space.
Right. As I said, you shout down the dissent, you cut them off, you don't allow the other side to speak at all, and then you say, well, see how stupid they are? They can't even get a single thought out.
Yeah. And also, I didn't go and like try to find his channel, and because he obviously like streamed on his own channel while he was on mine, because that's how he was going to make his money. He obviously wasn't going to make any money here, but he had new content that he get to put out and get his people to not just watch, but whatever, if there's like super chats or anything, whatever he does for monetization. So I'm sure that was going on, and I'll bet there's a lot more comments there than is on my channel.
Possibly.
I think Lard came
Oh,
up
there were
with
like
the-
5,000 people watching his live stream, so that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Holy
I
crap,
think
that's
Lard
big.
came up with the best description of Andrew that I had ever heard. The embodiment of what was it? Human gangrene or something like that. I've forgotten the exact.
Yes, the human embodiment of gangrene.
Yeah, that's the one. Love that.
Sometimes
Yeah,
I get a
so-
good one.
Yeah, so let's just, with our time, we can kind of have fun going through some of these comments. Feel free to just interrupt if you have any comments on this. So, like the first one, there's tons of these, that Andrew destroyed this ignorant fool. And of course, I guess it depends on what you mean by destroy. Why would you post this? He made you look like a complete fool. And, I made a flippant response that, I didn't want people to think that I was, quote unquote, deplatforming this video. But, regardless of how my performance may appear to other people, I'm okay with it. This isn't something that's gonna, make me get depressed or whatever, or feel bad about myself. It's fine. From my point of view, I had a discussion with someone. That person was disingenuous, and I kind of did my part. And if I didn't destroy Andrew, or if Andrew destroyed me, I don't really care. So that's why I don't care about I wasn't like somehow so embarrassed I was going to take down that video. And I guess someone needs to, yeah, go ahead.
Did you do you remember seeing the one somewhere in here about the person who I didn't know who Andrew
Oh yeah,
Wilson was? Now I'm what do you call it?
his fan or
A
something, right?
subscriber. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There was
There's actually a
two. So
bunch
there
of
was,
those.
yeah. Well, one of them just came in going, I've never heard of him,
Yeah, yeah,
and now I'm a subscriber, and
yeah.
yeah, I did a really quick Google search, and what do you know? The guy was making comments on other videos that Andrew had been on about how he had smashed the other guy, and you go, you
Yeah.
fucking liar.
So basically, they were just liars, right?
Yeah, straight up. And
Yeah.
then there was also Metronome or Metra something or
Oh
other.
yeah.
whatever his
We'll
name
get
was.
to that one. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get to that one. Okay.
Just a side
yeah.
note.
Yep.
Has anyone watched the Netflix series? What is it? It's called Chaos.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's brilliant. Second season is coming out shortly.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch it. But
It's spelled Kaos, and it's like the Greek gods moved into modern day. It's like they're still worshipped, and it's one of the best religious piss takes and intellectual dismantling of religion that I've watched. So yeah, just thought I'd try that one out. Up you go, Q.
Yeah. So this one is relatively new. I didn't read it before, but apparently he was okay. I think when he says I hate the guy, maybe he's talking about Andrew, or I don't know. Maybe it's me, but he first says this is not a debate, so he got it right. But he says that you need to agree on the language you're speaking and then make your paint. I'm not sure what that means. You could have said channel versus platform. I don't think it would have made a difference because the tweet I had said platforming, and they seemed very honed in on that word. And what was your issue with him? He said that a straight guy doesn't have sex with a gay guy, and you disagree. No, that wasn't it, right? It was they were talking about, or he was talking about, brought up Matt, and for whatever reason had to bring up, that he has sex with Arden, who's a trans woman.
I don't
So
agree with censorship, but I do agree. I was saying I'm sorry. I left my mic on. Don't worry about it. I'll shut up.
okay, all right. So he said that straight guy doesn't have sex with a gay guy, and you disagree. So no, I mean if Matt thinks he's gay because he's attracted to Arden, that's fine. He can
Matt-
call him gay or whatever. But
Matt describes himself as pansexual.
okay,
So yeah,
that's perfectly fine.
yeah, you just go, yeah. So yeah, he's not there to be attracted to the junk in the trunk, but what's going on in the head.
yeah. But it seems like this guy hasn't really looked through the video, because like he talks on about how I should just apologize for falsely accusing him of a dox, which was the whole point of this. And that I had also apologized for that error in the tweets as well. So from that point of view, first of all, I don't think Andrew really cares about that as much as the comment about the deplatforming. He's more concerned about that than about getting accused of being an asshole, right? Someone who would dox. He wouldn't care, if he doxed someone and people started saying he was an asshole, because that's basically his brand. So, but I'm just gonna skip. That was like a little bit too much. to that. Why? Oh, what's those guys thinking that this would go well for him? Uh, yeah, yeah, and they like to use that Andrew cooked me. That's fine. And it wasn't like I thought this was gonna go well. Like I said, it wasn't something I'd rather not have someone like that on. But you know, but this is where I kind of bring up the point about that this whole thing seems like kind of Andrew just going off on against my expression of my opinion. And it was purely my opinion. And but because I used the word platform, they just think that, hey, this means that I'm calling for a deplatform. And I'll just reiterate what I said in the discussion. From my point of view, deplatforming is, if I had called for Andrew's YouTube account to be removed from YouTube because he's a horrible person or he says bad things or whatever. And if I, call for him to be removed from YouTube and, ask other people to join me in calling for that, that I think would be me trying to deplatform him. Me saying that modern day debates should not have him on, I don't count it as deplatforming, no matter what any of these comments say. Do any of you guys have a different view of that?
I did leave a post on your video talking about the difference between platforming and deplatforming in a sense,
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Not censorship, it's more like not censorship, but more like protest. Right there, like right there.
Oh, was it that
Who's
one?
passing?
Oh,
Who's
that sometimes
right there.
it doesn't. I know it doesn't show like the whole thing.
Oh, it doesn't? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, this sometimes
weird.
happens. I have to refresh.
There's we've got one of the fanboys in the comments. Orca speaks, and he going on with you call for deplatforming, and you just go no. What you called for is for him to be not given more platforms.
Yeah,
he already has platforms. Don't give him more. It's like one of the analogies I gave in the comments was a person who has a couple of houses, and then someone says, oh, I'm going to give you another house, and then someone comes on and says, oh, look, he's an asshole. He doesn't deserve getting 3 houses. He already has some. And then a whole pile of people jump in and go, you want him to be homeless.
Yeah.
You go, oh,
yeah, I saw that as
stupid. Well. Yeah. So that's what this fanboy is in there. And he's complaining about how we're Andrew Wilson obsessed, says the guy who came here who's relief obsessed.
Yeah.
You go, yeah. Good work, buddy. And thanks for the engagement stat.
I had no bloody idea who he was. I had to go look him up.
Well, what's weird is like all these people. Yeah, all these people coming on, the Andrew fanboys coming on and making these comments. Like, are they expecting Andrew to come and like give them a little pat on the head for defending him? Or I mean, I guess
so, really.
They must. Maybe they believe that they're on the side of justice or something. That they're kind of rebelling against someone who actually expressed an opinion against him. So let's see. Yeah, Andrew is awesome. The other guy's kind of Andrew is great. Okay, that's fine. Actually, did I like miss all those guys that were like pretending not to be an Andrew fanboy?
I think it's down lower.
Okay, maybe it's a bit lower.
Yeah, further down, yeah.
This guy, Andrew, would be pretty easy to be destroyed in a debate. I mean, obviously, this person hasn't debated someone like Andrew. And it's not just Andrew, right? There's a lot of other people like him.
Actually, his idea of how to win the so-called debate against Andrew is actually, he's on the right track, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. I did read this a little bit, and I just read it before we started. And in a certain sense, this is kind of what I was doing, right? I was just kind of letting him run on without, kind of rising to debate.
Read my comment at the end of this thread.
Okay. remain calm and collected, but the internal struggle to be calm and not see if one could fit Andrew's feet in his arms would be bloody hard to suppress.
That's about right.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like feel any like animosity against Andrew. Uh, I felt like, I knew what he's doing. This is kind of his shtick. This is how he, uh, you know, I guess, gets his people on his side and gets them excited to watch his performance. So that's fine. And the other one is like, okay, this ratio thing. Okay, so what? He obviously has a lot more of his rabbit fans than I do. The only rabbit fans I have are you guys on the stage. So, and this is
I'm
another
not
one.
rabbit. I've had my shots
I don't know. I think Hook, you might be pretty rabid, despite your shots.
occasionally.
And this guy seems to be very prolific in the comment section. I've seen a lot of comments from him. Oh, this was pretty funny. Blarg, I know you responded to him on this about this sample size thing. He thinks I
Yeah.
don't know what a sample size is.
Yeah, what a fucking idiot. You just go, so, yeah, a guy who doesn't know anything about science defending another guy who doesn't know anything about science, being unable to understand why you would bring up the number of studies. You just
Yeah.
go,
I think he at some point thought that I was thinking a sample size is number of studies.
no. And I explained exactly
Yeah,
what you're
obviously it's
thinking,
not,
because
but I think from
any-
his point of view, that's what the only thing he could think of. He couldn't
yeah,
think
'cause he
that
doesn't
there.
understand what a
Exactly.
meta-analysis is.
Yeah, you brought that up. That meta-analysis are kind of compiling all the different data from lots of studies where they may have small sample sizes, but you can kind of normalize them and do the kind of the data. I don't want to say manipulation, but massaging to get the
Yeah,
get
to
the
get them
data
into
to be
a
coherent.
useful form. Yeah,
Yeah.
and also the fact that they're saying they're all different sizes and ask different questions. You go, yeah, meta-analyses deal with that all the time.
Exactly.
That's what they do. That's why they're actually really hard to do.
Right.
And it takes specialist skills to be able to do meta-analyses, and that's why they're considered the gold standard of research. Nothing else is as good as meta-analyses.
And also
also-
for especially these type of like clinical studies, it's very expensive. I mean, like especially when you do an fMRI study, fMRIs are not cheap. And collecting all the data. So, each of the individual studies aren't going to have like thousands of samples. It just would be prohibitively expensive. But there are a lot of different people doing this type of studies, and that's where you kind of have to depend on meta-analysis.
Yeah, but that's also not the point. So, if, for example, there's a disease that happens, 1 in a million people get this disease, and you have a theory about what causes it. So you look for people who have that characteristic, and 5 out of 5 people in your sample size have exactly the disease that's a 1 in a million chance. That's going to have a hell of a good p-value. Because of it's got a tiny sample size, but it's extremely relevant to the suggestion made. So it's not sample size that matters. It's p-value or one of the other, the t-square test or student test or one of the other statistical tests, not the sample size. Sample size is for people who don't understand statistics.
Yeah. So it was kind of revealing someone like this where, they obviously don't know the science, but they think that they know enough to, pretend like they do. And also, it was so obvious that Andrew didn't even know what an fMRI is. And he was trying so hard to just like, to cover that up, to pretend like he isn't ignorant of fMRIs.
Actually, also worth noting that a lot of these studies aren't fMRI, they're just straight MRI.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yep.
yeah, they're looking at structures of the brain rather than behavior of the brain.
Yeah.
So, they're able to tell based upon ratios of white matter to grey matter in various areas or size of various structures.
Yeah.
Um,
Although
they did post.
I'm more skeptical about structure type of research on this.
There's one of the ones I posted up has a p-value under 0.001, and you go, that's a pretty solid one where they trained
Yeah.
an AI.
That's very hard.
Yeah, they trained an AI to look at MRI scans of like 1,000 males, 1,000 females, and then got them to look at people who are trans, and yes, it was able to spot them with a very high p-value. Oh, sorry, very tiny p-value. So a very strong, strong case. So yeah, it didn't need a lot. I think it was only a sample size of in the vicinity of 20-ish, 24, something like that. But the p-value is the thing that was important there. They were able to spot them easily.
By the way, so Crystal made this comment that every time someone says Andrew, she thinks that they're talking about Andrew Tate, and she shudders. I definitely know what you're talking about. One of the comments I made about Andrew was that he gets followers who are basically Andrew Tate wannabes or Andrew Tate followers, and they just happen to kind of coincide with the kind of behavior and beliefs that Andrew, I think, believes in. So it's just as an aside, I think, as most of you know, Andrew and his brother were in Romania being charged for sex trafficking and rape and all this other stuff. I think even like pedophilia for like young girls and things. But they appealed to Trump, and Trump pressured the Romanian government to have them released, and they landed in Florida maybe yesterday. So yeah, so that administration is definitely law and order, right?
Yep. Guys.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, my sound went out for a minute there. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead. Did you have something?
No, I was asking you what you had just said, because all I heard was like the last half second of what you were talking about.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I was talking about the Andrew Tate thing where the Trump administration pressured the Romanian government to have them released. And so they're now in the States. Whereas before, they were, I think they were in kind of house arrest in Romania.
Yeah, they were actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I mean, I think they have pretty credible evidence against, for those charges. So, all right, so we'll skip
but why
him.
would, if you're for law and order, you'd, Romania is not known as a country where they bring bogus charges, not like like Russia or the likes, where they bring bogus charges against political opponents. Yes, these guys openly admitted the behavior that they do. It's out there. It's not like all of a sudden this come out of the blue. They go on about how they made all their money by forcing women to cam.
Yeah, I mean, they were basically trafficking them. So
yeah,
yep, that's what the current administration is for. Andrew's awesome. LMAO dude, you suck. Just own up to your BS. Andrew made you look like a clown. Okay. Oh, and here's all these Andrew fans coming here and pretending Andrew wasn't a jerk. Some even pretending not to know him, despite their public video history. And
that's just so ironic.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just wild. I mean, these guys, talking about how I'm dishonest or whatever, and they think that Andrew is, this like savior of theirs. but they come on here and just completely lie, just trying to support their boy. Oh, and so this isogetting thing is like, I think I mentioned it in the previous stream, but one of the so Andrew, like, first of all, Andrew was supposed to be on like several weeks ago when this actually happened, and he just forgot about it, and he didn't, he didn't show up. So when I asked him, hey, do you want to apologize for that? It's like, no, because I'm not sorry. Yeah, because these guys, they're not sorry for their own mistakes, but whenever they feel like they were somehow, put upon, they demand the other person apologize. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, this guy, this errand boy, basically came and said, like, oh, Andrew's waiting for you. Why aren't you on? And he had gotten the time zone wrong, and he started kind of going on about, oh, why are you so upset or something? You're just, and I said, no, I'm not upset. It seems like you're upset. And he started saying that I was eisogetting by saying that he was getting upset. And just use of that word in that context was just so funny. It seemed like he was like trying so hard to sound smart by trying to use that word. So I thought that was funny. Okay, and yes, I am absolutely pathetic. Can't even follow a string of logical arguments. I'm not sure what logical arguments that Andrew was actually making, except to say, oh, what word did you use? Platforming. So platforming, that means you are calling for me to be deplatformed. I think that was like really his only real argument. And also that, I obviously was talking negative about him when I said he was an extreme Christian nationalist bigot. And so therefore I must have been calling for deplatforming of him because I had negative feelings against him. So he's basically saying that he was upset that I was being mean to him. That's, I think, what it kind of boils down to. And me being mean and calling on MDD to not have him on means that I was trying to deplatform him. That seemed to be the argument. Whether it's logical or not, I don't think I would dispute that. All right. MDD shouldn't platform Andrew while platforming Andrew. And obviously this person didn't watch the video because I explained why I had him on. And shooting out of my league. Oh, so Ook, you like the League of Extraordinary Bigots?
That's pretty.
Oh, I thought that if that was a movie, yes, I think we could get young Damon and quite a few. You could fill the whole.
So did you not know I was like referring to the movie League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with Sean Connery?
Oh yeah,
Okay, you did know that. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, imagine all the main characters being played by all the theist bigots that inhabit atheist channels.
It would be pretty hard to get the movie made with those guys, though. They have a tendency to go to jail a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, that's because the lefties are trying to own them and shut them down, not because they do things like defraud their customers or do some beautiful thing to somebody, which sets them thrown into jail. Which then later on they come along and say, no, that was I was selling drugs. That was a beautiful thing.
Yes, I didn't steal the car.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. I broke an arm.
Wait, where is APOS? Speaking of committing beautiful act, yeah.
He might have got rearrested.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
possible
for doing another beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
He definitely has a beautiful mind, doesn't he?
And
The
here's the
same
other
way at
thing.
Jackson.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, beautiful mind that I would say was painted by Jackson Pollock. What the hell? I was looking at this thing racing around the spare paddock
Okay.
right across the door, and it's a radio-controlled car. I thought it was a rabbit. Going to go out and try and plug it.
Did you guys get a flood warning? Ook, you said you just got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing in my area.
It seems to be heading more to Brisbane, which I can't remember the last time they had a cyclone touchdown. I think I must have been a kid if it happened.
Yeah, it's not climate change, Luke, it's just weather. Just because the ocean's warmer than it has been in sort of recorded history.
Something's going on with your mic, Clark.
You're roboting.
Sorry, how's that better?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not climate change that's causing the problem. It's not because the oceans are warmer than they've ever been, causing cyclones and hurricanes to happen in places they don't normally. No, it's just weather. That's just weather.
And I mean, the severity of cyclones has increased in our own lifetime to the point where I would not want to live above where you are. That would be my absolute limit for going north. Also, another strange thing, what has happened to Australians and why the heck are they getting bitten so much by snakes?
I can't do that.
Last weekend, 7 people needed antivenin in a weekend.
Sounds like Darwinian evolution to me. Don't go.
Yeah, I might be one of the few Australians who I lay some of the blame on Steve Irwin and his travelling circus of, oh look, I can pick up this thing with a stick and whatever, and it's just getting envenomated by any of Australians venomous snakes is no joke. Mind you, a death adder will send you on a death adder bite will send you on a fantastic trip. Absolutely no pain, but you could be dead in 30 minutes.
No, thank you there.
yeah. I tried it. I liked it so much the first time I had to get another one. People have just gotten so stupid. Anyway, that's my thing.
Sheldon thinks that you guys should be immune to the venom by now.
Actually,
yeah, we have it on our cereal.
Funny thing is, because I've had death adder venom twice and quite a bit of it, I'm allergic to the anti-venom.
Oh no!
Ooh, yikes.
So if I get another hit from a death adder, I've got a 50-50 chance of dying.
Oh wow!
Which is why I won't work with that snake. It's not possible to handle it with your hands. They're too short and stumpy. You've got to use hooks, you've got to use tongs, and honestly, it's just too dangerous. Yeah.
Roos are not venomous, but I think they're poisonous, right? You shouldn't be eating them.
That's
They're
No,
just
I'm
dry
just
and
kidding.
tasteless.
It's a
They're just dry and
platypus.
tasteless. Yeah,
Yeah.
platypuses are definitely venomous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheldon, you'll see hundreds of roos if you come for a drive around Australia. They're
Yeah, they're
like dead,
found
laying on the side
everywhere.
of the road.
Yeah, but even then, they're just they're everywhere. Like there are more kangaroos now than there's ever been pretty much in the history of our country.
Yeah.
Because of the access to water.
Trying to get a lawn started up north in Townsville when I bought a couple of houses. I literally had to stay awake for 48 hours with a cap gun. Pardon me. Scaring the bloody roos because I'd put down the seed or the buffalo runners and the roos would come and it would turn it back into a bare paddock.
They have your number. They're out for you, buddy.
Oh, they are. Also, we get what's called suicide roos. They'll hop along your car and, oh, all right, it's not coming for me. Next minute, right out of the turn, bang, straight into the side of your car.
Well, wait until they get the suicide vest technology.
Yeah, I think the emus are working on that one, so they can win the next war.
Australia did formally go to war against emus and lost.
That just blows my mind.
It's not even a made-up story. That's
I know. I've
genuinely
read
true.
about it.
Yeah,
I can't believe
one
that.
of the best things ever. Yep, let's go to war against emus.
Did Australia have that better to do?
We had
They were a problem.
a whole day when I was in primary school of being taught about the invasive species in Australia, and then a big film about how we lost the emu war, which was really cool.
It's almost like a badge of honor for you guys now that you guys lost the emu war.
Hey, at least you tried to fight back.
I mean, one thing to use against the creationists, the emu and the cassowary are, from memory, the only two living birds that have the same feather structures as, and I've forgotten the bloody name of the winged dinosaur they found, the feathered dinosaur.
Archaeopteryx.
Yeah.
Their feathers.
That makes sense.
Are so primitive, and they're wonderful to use as well. The emu feathers are just beautiful. Nothing like they're a very primitive feather, and the cassowary has even a more primitive feather. Just a weird note there.
All right. Going back to this, one comment I had was like, a lot of these guys, when they kind of, don't get the response that they're trying to elicit. So when I kind of play off it as a joke, it's like, oh, you can try to play it cool with your little jokes, but Andrew mopped the floor with you. And so they think like somehow I'm here like trying to quote unquote cope on this. So it's always funny when these guys make comments like that. And so the other thing is like, so they're saying that I'm trying to deplatform him by saying that MDD shouldn't have him on. So what's the remedy that they're asking for? That I should never express my opinion of people being on different platforms. Like I couldn't ever say that I don't know, like a certain news channel shouldn't interview JD Vance, or I mean, is that kind of what they're asking, that people should not be able to express those type of opinions? Because that is ultimately what they're saying, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much. I
basically,
mean,
they don't like being told no, and they don't like being told that your free speech has consequences.
And
Can't
these
have
are
that.
kind of guys I can imagine that, they have expressed opinions like that, to against, let's say, some more liberal people, right? They probably say, oh, this guy's an idiot. They should never have him on. I'm sure these guys have made those kind of comments.
Do you remember
fucking
the
hypocrites.
big carrying on about Bud Light
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, my gosh.
the snowflake
The trans
meltdown
person.
because
Yeah.
of the trans person? I can't remember.
Yep.
Dylan Mulvaney.
Dylan, yeah.
Yeah.
Just lost their mind and about how it all needs to be shut down and they should.
Yeah.
And you go, it's hilarious. Don't tell a person they're not allowed to have a conversation on somebody else's platform, but it's perfectly fine to tell the company that it needs to end and be shut down completely.
Yeah.
That's deplatforming.
Yeah. The platforming of all trans people on those kind of advertisements.
Do you see the brilliant hypocrisy, though, of what's the stupid singer's name? The MAGA singer guy who machine gunned a couple of cartons.
Oh,
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock? Yeah.
Kid Rock, yeah. So he went and bought a couple of cartons so that he could machine gun them. You go,
Yep,
thanks for
yep.
the money. But then,
Yeah.
like a week later, he was seen at the football up in one of the booths with a Bud Light in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
at the Super Bowl.
Himself in the foot
Yeah,
there.
yeah. You just go,
Yeah.
oh, cop that, yep, fucking hypocrites.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all performance to them, It's like,
So brilliant.
yeah. So this guy's saying that I never said you can't express your opinion. That's what you took, if that's what you took from the comment. The only thing I said is that he destroyed you and that was it. Okay, so that's why he commented here. And him destroying me is telling me that I can't express my opinion. So, all right, good argument.
Love it when promiscuous women.
Oh yeah,
Lefties,
this
promiscuous
was
women.
it. This guy?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it this
Just
guy?
there
Oh yeah, yeah.
before
Oh my God. Yeah, I actually love when lefties, promiscuous woman, and feminists debate Andrew because it shows the day and night difference on worldviews. Wow.
promiscuous women. You just go. That's
Andrew
a beauty.
so he says Andrew is a moral man, but more than that,
Bullshit.
he's a man of God. He's a man of God. All right. I mean, he's a pretty good walking advertisements for not being a Christian. Sensible and logical views based on the current reality of the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Hypocrisy right there, folks.
Yeah. And obviously he means I commend him, not command him, for showing the people how degenerate the world has become. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, because the God's perfectly fine with lying and misrepresenting people. The Bible says nothing about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and continuing on of the psycho, this was a debate and Andrew won. That's fine. I mean, Andrew can make himself a trophy if he wants, but, okay.
He probably got a whole cage full of them.
I think this is one of the first ones. I despise Andrew Wilson, which is why I came here only to watch him win a debate. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could give him the benefit of the doubt, but it definitely sounds like one of those guys. Oh, it's funny how Andrew fans come here, get amnesia that they are Andrew fans, and then fall in love with him all over again. It's definitely a better love story than Twilight.
Yeah. Wow. Hell of a comparison there.
All right. And Neo piped in. Whatever you got to tell yourself to sleep at night. Yeah. Okay. I really don't have any trouble sleeping. So, okay. The debate made you look bad, Brawl. It's okay to fight me and Andrew do fight, but never okay to cancel unless breaking TOS.
I hate when
Again,
they use the
I'm
word cancel
not trying
like
to
that.
cancel him. Yeah.
Like I said when I made my point, it's what they when it comes to cancel, that's when people with authority and power use that to shut people down. But when regular people do it, it's protest.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like
canceling people
this.
can be deplatforming, right?
Yeah, but it's the right never wants to do cancel anything. It's not like they want to burn books or ban books,
Yeah.
and it's not like they
Right.
want to prevent other religions from having displays, sort of nativity displays of their choice. No, that never happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny when they have that amnesia of all the things that they want to cancel, but as soon as something that they like, there's a cancel attempt on that. It's like, oh no, free speech.
Man,
Uh,
they need to do some research.
Does
um,
anyone know or seen Andrew in a debate? Because he often goes on about Christian ethics. I've watched 3 debates now, apart from the one with Matt. He's never listed what he considers to be a Christian ethic.
I get a feeling that he never wants to like put down his position because then it's open to attack. So he's always like attacking the other side, attacking atheism or attacking humanism, and he generally, at least based on the video I saw with Andrew, he wasn't ever like defending his side. He was just like attacking the other one. Oh, they think a man can be a woman, and right, and that's how he attacks as well, right? He's attacking these social issues and not the actual religion or or the morals or humanism versus Christianity. I don't really see him do that.
Well, you'll
So
notice that's
I'm not
very
the only
similar
one.
to how. Oh, sorry.
No, you're right, mate. I was just saying, so I'm not the only one who's not seen Andrew describe what Christian ethics are.
Yeah, he kind of just glosses over everything and then attack. That's pretty much how he does it.
Well, you'll notice that's the pattern in the comments section,
Yep.
where you try to get Jim Edith to talk about what do you mean when you say absolute absolute moral duties?
Yep.
And he won't define that.
Yeah.
It's a very common tactic to make to make these claims, but make them just vague enough that they can be interpreted in multiple different ways. So that if you get nailed down on one part of one possible definition, you can go, "No, that's not what I meant, you stupid libtard. This is clearly And it's the inherent dishonesty of their position. He's not. He's not there to propose he's not there to advocate for an act. He's not there to advocate for anything. It's to advocate against the position, because it's easier for him to keep it vague and thus constantly be both on the attack and the victim at the same time. It's a very common model that you see amongst conservative bobbleheads. It was true amongst with Rush Limbaugh when he was still alive. It's true of Alex Jones, and it's true for our friend Andrew Wilson as well. It's a very common tactic.
Try and get the dance monkey to say that God is real.
Yeah.
Bet you can't, because he won't do it.
Yeah.
Because then he knows he's going to be forced to defend that claim.
Yeah, Planet Peterson has got a couple of good videos on Andrew.
Oh yeah, I did see a little bit of it, not the whole thing, but
Yeah. Oh, and John, are you a short-nosed wombat or a long-nosed?
Can't tell from that picture, that's for sure.
And
Yeah. So earlier,
you now know.
Crystal in the comment section called me a wombat for my Energizer Bunny joke. So I was like, you know what? Let's lean in. Let's have a little fun.
And you
Why
know
not?
now you're going to have to learn how to do cube poos.
Sir, what I do on my private time away from this channel.
Weird Australian wildlife.
Krista wanted you to be a parrot.
A parrot.
He's not a parrot, that's for sure.
He's nailed to the perch.
Get down to the punch and be pushing up the daisies.
Oh boy. All right, let's finish up. We have 10 more minutes. So this guy says, we are all dumber for having listened to your nonsense. And I don't think that's possible, because how could that guy be made dumber? Okay, Andrew's not sending his best. This is Paul. Oh, and yeah, this comment like cope. Yeah, it's definitely cope, right? If the other person argues against you. Andrew was correct. The person was talking to came off poorly. We'll be subscribing to the Crucible. I'll bet this is another guy who's actually already subscribed to the Crucible.
Yeah, they're just shilling for him now.
Yeah. Oh, is this? No, see, here's another one. Damn, I left this an Andrew fan. I don't know if I actually looked this guy up or not, but
Aaron, the parrot in the Dead Parrot skit is a Norwegian blue, I believe.
What was it? The Norwegian blue. If he had to nail him there because of the way he would just boom right out of his cage.
Yeah.
So this guy is like another one of those. Okay, I see people asking for censorship, but I'm old enough to remember when liberals were complaining of censorship. I was in part of them. And then I see you. So
What does that even mean?
yeah, I guess like, oh, liberals called for censorship, so it's okay if Andrew calls for to censor what I'm saying. Okay. You guys are huge
I mean,
fans of
I'm against-
censorship, unless.
Yeah, I'll
go
just
ahead.
reiterate what I said in the comments section. I'm against censorship, but I'm for appropriate place and time for things to be. I don't think you should have porn or adult content on TV before 9 o'clock at night when most kids are asleep. The same thing goes for you shouldn't platform or give a person a stage to preach hate speech from. The easiest way I sort of talk about that, I explain the appropriateness. It's fine to wear a bikini at the beach, but you wouldn't go to church wearing one.
I might go to church more if they did.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, true. That may be a way to increase the congregation. Mind you,
It might bring more people to Jesus.
I just remembering back to some of the old Italian ladies that used to attend church when no bikinis, no. Sorry.
So I guess
All right.
Mental
using this
picture.
as an opportunity for us to have one of the topics that we can always talk about is what is what is censorship, what is social norm, what it would be considered, or just sort of having that bigger discussion of, like you were talking about, Blarg, of what are the right times and places for topics to be brought up. Because I agree with you, at least in principle, that I wouldn't want I wouldn't want Sesame Street to go over the finer points of why it's okay to regulate sex work. Like that's not the right time and place for that. But that's not necessarily censorship, is it?
I think it's more like you got to keep everything in context.
Sure.
Yeah, some people do call it or class it as censorship, but it's more along the lines of appropriate. It's not appropriate.
But then
Platform yeah.
Sure, but then who gets to decide what and where is appropriate? Who watches the appropriateness, and then who watches the watchers? I think that's sort of where I would like to go with a bigger conversation. I mean, obviously not in the last 10 minutes, but just kind of putting that out there as a possible.
No, I think that's a great one, and yeah.
Because I'm not a free speech absolutist by any stretch of the imagination. Because I believe in the concept of guardrails, but I also know that I'm not clever enough to come up with guardrails that wouldn't potentially be just as harmful as they are helpful. And I see social norms and censorship as having those same pitfalls.
Yeah, there's a very fine line between censorship and proper context.
Yeah. Anyway, Q, it's entirely up to you. Like whatever, if that's something that you want to kind of put out there for next week or a future discussion.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We can definitely put that into like I don't know if you want to do it next week or whatnot. A lot of times it depends on who comes up.
Yeah.
So.
I did like the suggestion from Craig Kelly for next week, perhaps to talk about what we think of evangelical.
I think it said modern evangelicalism.
Yeah,
Oh.
and if he wants to come on, he can talk about what it is he sees and where he's asking the question from. If he's feeling like doing that, that would be pretty good, I think.
I think that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, I'd second that. One thing I can
it's
say
late in the night for him, so we'll see if he.
Yeah.
One thing
that's exactly right.
I got to get a hold of him so he can set it up.
I can say about Craig is he's not a member of the We Free Church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, he's like a reasonable
He's
enough
not
guy.
hateful.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. So yeah, I'd definitely like to have a discussion with him if he can. I think we're kind of. I guess maybe we should go over that one guy. What's his name? Metronome or whatever.
Yeah,
where is that?
Metronos.
Yeah,
Something like that. I don't remember.
yeah. There was like a long discussion trail with him, and it was kind of weird, right?
There it
I
is.
think he was kind of like trying to come off as someone who's kind of impartial. So
Trying to pretend it, yeah.
yeah,
Another
that
shill
sounds
trying to
very
make himself
cute.
seem like he was different from everybody else.
yeah. He came to the video ready to hate on Andrew, but left as a fan. But it very much seems like he kind of started as a fan and was being dishonest, at least later on. I think at least like he was good about trying to, stay undercover or make his cover more believable than some of the other guys. But
Yeah, the other one was just before him. It wasn't far down below where this fella commented.
Before him, as in above,
No,
earlier?
as in earlier. Yeah, so
Okay,
he'd
earlier.
be below it when sorted this way. Is the guy who just got caught immediately.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Which one was it? It was a fairly short one, right?
You might have just passed it, perhaps.
Oh, did I? Oh, Andrew rarely, is it this one? Rarely allows people to challenge him outside of his echo chamber.
No, it's
No. Andrew was actually wrong. This guy is fine. This guy apparently sees our little troll crew on every atheist experience video, making trash arguments. Yeah.
Anytime that he wants to come on and talk to us about those trash arguments,
he's more than welcome.
I wonder if it was like a comment in another comment.
and it was one specifically at the top. So,
I want to make this comment. Like Andrew, right at the beginning, said that I was seething while he was obviously very much seething. It was just like, just like complete gaslighting right from the beginning.
It's all theater with him, like we said multiple times.
Oh, is it this one maybe? Andrew made you look so foolish. You need to reevaluate your stance. No, that's not it. Believes ironic. Yeah, I guess maybe it was like above.
no, it's still down further.
Down further.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
because it definitely happened earlier than Metathronos.
Okay. So this is the very first one. Willingly offering yourself to be destroyed. This isn't even me being okay, put yourself on. I should have deleted the original tweet. It's so upsetting to see that Andrew Domini made over $3,000. And I made $1,500 because he gave me half of it. So,
hey,
win-win.
There you go.
Win-win. Yeah.
Hey, you said you didn't do this for the money.
Nothing more than true. Is it this one? Andrew is one of the many reasons I'm an atheist and secular humanist.
Our boy side boobing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was above. Or maybe he deleted it. Well, we can go back to the metronome guy. Let's see. Yeah, it's funny. Like a lot of people are surprised that I kept this up. It's like, and the thing is, like these guys, as soon as I deleted it, would just be all over, going, "Oh, you're so embarrassed you deleted it."
Yeah, you can't win for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey Jux is the person who got caught.
Yeah, it's not about.
Was it Joey?
Yeah, it's not about
Joey
actual
Jux.
conversation.
Oh, this one. Oh, I never heard of Andrew Wilson. Instantly subscribed. Based on the videos that you have on your channel, you definitely haven't heard of Andrew before. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
And then this guy's like going, which video? And I think this is where you did the lookup, right?
Yeah, that's right. Islam for the L.
Yeah, I mean, like just complete outright dishonesty.
It makes for such great content when you can mock them for it.
Yeah.
Remember, if they didn't have dishonesty, they wouldn't have any honesty at all.
That's a good point.
All right. So the funny thing with this Metronos guy is that, okay, so, he said I somehow, my language skills weren't as good as Andrew when Andrew, like, basically used, like high school level vocabulary. And he thought me kind of being funny about like him saying this wheelhouse thing, and I said, the Andrew Wilson wheelhouse, you said you were left as a fan. So I think he got confused by the response, and he thought that I somehow didn't understand what a wheelhouse meant.
There was
but then
another,
he
another strange comment. I think it was someone with a female avatar saying that you had put the Indian cause.
Oh yeah.
Hurt that. I mean.
Yeah, the Indian PR. heard
Yeah.
the cause of Indian PR.
Wait, so
and
what does
the,
that mean?
Wow.
That's
I assume
that's.
they're talking
What
about
is Indian
public
PR?
relations.
I have no
don't
That's
clue.
what
know.
I thought too, but it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I had to look up what JEET was, and I kicked all the people who were using it in the chat out once I found out what it was. I did. That's just no racism. I won't tolerate.
Is this the guy who also said you've been doxxed? Yeah, he's
Yeah,
already
that's
got
another
doxxed.
one.
And you just,
Yeah.
no, it's this comment with the Indian PR guy. And you just go, well, clearly, if you'd been doxxed, he wouldn't have got his racism wrong.
And the ignorance of the morons.
And I can QC. You do not sound like an Indian person. Like
I know.
a subcontinent Indian.
Like, how bad?
There's
Yeah, you'd
no
have to be
way
really bad at
no
accents
how.
to think that my accent is like close to public reputation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or public relations.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
either way.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from, but
That just shows you
all
the
right.
intelligence levels of people we deal with.
Yeah, so
That was
this is
hilarious.
metronome trying to like sound like he's being analytical. At some point while learning English, you seem to have realized that using idiomatic expressions made you sound more fluent. However, this came at the cost of not always being fully aware of what you're saying. So I mean, like, if he was being actually genuine, I have no idea how someone could come up with that conclusion.
Maybe because your use of the English language is more nuanced than theirs.
That was something that I was thinking of, that maybe he didn't catch on to some of the wording. And I think I actually made that comment that my sentence structure is usually a little more complicated, a little more complex. Sometimes I guess you could criticize and say it's overly complex, but that's not what he was saying, right?
It's not your job to dumb down your arguments for people who don't have the intellect to understand them.
Okay, so look at all that rationalizing. He was generous in how he walked you through the initial discussion. That really got me. Like, anyone calling Andrew Wilson generous in a discussion obviously is someone who's drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
If
That's
he
Alpha
had-
Mutakion and everything else.
Yeah. You complained that he was uncharitable to your position, but he gave you ample time and went to great lengths to explain his own when he didn't have to. Yeah, this guy is. As soon as he
Yeah.
said, I was like, okay, this is not. This guy isn't quite the impartial person that he was saying. Actually, let me get your feedback on this. A few people kind of said I was being insincere or not being forthright in some of the discussion. What do you think was the reason why a lot of these people thought that way?
They're
That's hard to
wankers.
say. I mean, because, how to define how you're being insincere?
I mean, for my 2 cents is you made an honest mistake. You publicly apologised. And you even invited him on your show so you could sort out the misunderstanding. The people in the comments were whinging, 60,000 people saw your comment accusing whatever about Andrew, but hardly anyone saw your apology. Well, couldn't Andrew retweet your apology on his channel?
Oh, that's true. He
Is
did.
that
He
he
didn't
was.
bother. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think he was just trying to look for
if it serves
confrontation.
his narrative, then
Yeah, he was like
Yeah.
I said, he was just looking for confrontation so that way he can make himself look better.
Yeah, you're right. If he was actually concerned about being unfairly called a doxer, he would definitely have retweeted that, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah, where's the fun in honest debating?
I have a car that I think everyone should have a look at because it is a thing of beauty. You know, the Volkswagen Beetle, they're releasing it again, but for 2025. And here's the link. And honestly, if I had to spare money, I'd buy one.
You couldn't get me to buy anything from the Hitler wagon.
yeah, I understand the appeal of the. I think it's hysterical, and the height of historical irony that the Beetle bus is one of the most iconic hippie vehicles of the
Oh, yeah.
1960s.
Yeah. It was ubiquitous for that time.
Yeah.
And but the new Inception, it's really done well as opposed to when they relaunched the Mini. That was just a shite show on wheels, absolutely hideous. But
It's not. I mean, it's not too bad. They're pretty much keeping the classic design to it.
yeah, but it was gutless.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Underpowered.
I'm talking about the Beetle.
The Beetle. Yeah.
I'm looking at the video that you're sending right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's Beetle shaped. It's they haven't modernized it too much.
They've stuck a Porsche motor in it, I think, which is the way to go. But yeah, I just like its lines and the 6 exhaust pipes. You know, is it 6 or I don't know how many exhaust pipes it's got. But yeah, I just think it's cool.
I gotta take a look at that.
Yeah. Anyway, this trail is pretty long, and I guess it's just this whole like he was kind of trying to take this angle of like about my language being English being a second language, etc. And I think he even like tried to at some point try to insinuate kind of like the monkey boy, oh, you're artistic or something.
Which
So
I have a big problem with that.
Yeah. So he was definitely trying to come up with an angle to, basically seem like he's being impartial, and his opinion against me is coming from a non-judgmental place. Okay.
At least
Yeah.
Again, I'll just restate. You did a fantastic job in the face of a rabid adversary. It was just you took the right tact. You didn't once, I don't think, display any anger or raise your voice, which I mean, I couldn't have done it. No way.
Yeah, he would have made me snap at some point.
Yeah, not unless Crystal slipped 6 Valium in the coffee.
I don't got that luxury.
Well, I mean, there are definitely times when I was kind of getting frustrated at him just
Yeah, we heard it in your voice at
You know,
times. Yes.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I try my best not to rise to the bait, and this type of discussion isn't going to be on my channel, hopefully ever. But you never know. But overall, I thought it was to me. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. So I wasn't there trying to win. It wasn't some kind of a zero-sum game. I just wanted to kind of see how he responds and talks or attempts to argue, and he pretty much met my expectations. So
I got
It
one
was
thing to say about.
eye-opening.
Go ahead. Go to.
Oh, it was very eye-opening. That's for sure.
yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I do have,
Go ahead, Steve.
but I enjoyed. I laughed at the fact that when he made his demands, whatever you want to call them, about only one-on-one with you, and demanded we all sit back in the back room while he. But then after the end of the almost near the end of the or whatever you would call it, is that he said, "Hey, bring all your boys in. Let me debate them." When he strictly said to you, one-on-one.
You know what? Now that I think about that, I think that was basically like he wasn't fulfilled in having that discussion with him, so he wanted something more confrontational, and I think he wanted it for his stream. Since he was streaming at the same time.
Yeah, then he
So
had the
he
ball
wanted
to
more of a
say,
fight.
Yeah, then he had the balls to say, "Hey, I'll debate any one of y'all on my stream, or whatever, Just get a hold
Yeah.
of me.
So him asking you guys to come to his stream, that is another kind of confirmation that he just wanted to, find ways to keep his stream going and make a little extra money.
Which
I mean,
I think there are better ways. There are better ways to make money, but at the same time,
I mean,
it is. It just shows that it's about the revenue generation and it's revenue generation and not thought generation.
yeah. I mean, if my debate skills were better, I'd probably take him up on it just to see. But I probably could steamroll. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, is Blarg leaving?
I don't know. It's just all of a sudden just disappeared.
Oh, he just
Oh,
put
he
himself
said-
backstage.
Yeah.
No,
He said bye in the
Crystal's
comments.
heading off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got to head off too. So I will catch you all shortly in the
To
comments.
Christo.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Ook. And so we will
Always a pleasure.
end it. Yep.
Always.
We will end it here. Thanks to all my people on the stage, and of course
Wait, he said-
everyone in.
Lark said to bring him up real quick.
Oh, wait, isn't he on? Oh, sorry. Hey, I saw you, but I didn't realize you weren't on the stage. Hey, Blarg.
Yeah, no, I clicked on bloody Ook's link and it took me to a new page, and then I'm like, crap.
Okay.
So yeah, I just want to make a comment saying about how perhaps I would have approached Andrew's attack, which is to say, when he started the behaving the way he did, my approach would be to be like Andrew, till you get him to stop talking, and then say, look, if you can't be civil, then I'm going to have to end the conversation. So can you be civil? And then yes, when he demonstrates he can't, cut him off, and then just go, well, there you go. You couldn't be civil. You couldn't have a civil conversation. So yeah, because that was the bit that I struggled the most with. Like, you have to cut him off. But,
yeah, so I didn't. I know you had made those comments in the private chat, but I didn't see it until afterwards. I was like kind of scrolling through because I wasn't. I was like trying to focus on the discussion. So yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult because you were really busy trying to deal with his fire hose of bullshit.
Yeah, and I think, personally, I wouldn't have done that just because then it just becomes, you weren't being fair and all that, and I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
that's
it's
why you
just a
give him a
different way.
chance to say, look,
Yeah,
Andrew, well, if you want an answer, you let me finish the answer.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
yeah. No, I
keep pulling
agree.
him back, keep pulling him back, keep pulling him back,
Yeah,
because you get that a lot with them where they just want to rush on. You go, no, we're going to go back and finish the first bit.
yeah, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that would have definitely been like another tack. But yeah, maybe something in the
Yeah,
future if there is more of an antagonistic person like Andrew, I can be more firm.
yeah. I love the idea that he called it a debate also when there's, he refused to allow any moderation.
Yeah,
And any idea of a person to set time limits or anything of that nature. You can just
yeah,
scream over the top of the other person and then call it a debate. You go, it's not a debate, that's an argument.
yeah. Well, I think he was probably, and that was one of the reason why he didn't want anyone else on it. And I think as soon as he realized that it was like an unmoderated discussion, where I specifically say was a discussion, I think he saw it as a chance for him to kind of steamroll.
Yeah, and that's what he did.
Yep.
Steamrolled.
Yeah. That's as
Yep.
you usually
Oh
know.
well,
Is what
at
it
least
is.
you got 800 plus comments on one of your videos, which that's an engagement
I
stat.
can only hope to make 1% of that.
Yeah, which is should be great for getting the algorithm to promote your videos. So
Yeah.
hooray!
Yeah. So thanks to all those guys that went on the comments and continue to like say inane things.
You just
Thanks for
gotta
the
love the
engagement.
irony in that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we'll end it here. And once again, thanks you guys, and definitely I appreciate your support in the comments as well as people in the live chat. I think it would be very lonely. It was just if it was just me, uh, you know, responding to all those guys and
Yeah.
not kind of having someone on my side. So I appreciate you guys having my back.
Not a problem.
Anytime.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Same
Well,
time next week.
have a nice weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Cheers.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you later, everybody.